Do you dream of living in a nicer and comfier place? Well, fuck. I am currently developing a platforming survival game. I am taking some inspiration from the Code of the Lamp. I really like how they combined the action of roguelike games and the colony simulation. I am currently deciding if this is going to be some open world game, of course small scale, because I am college student that is just trying his fucking best. In this devlog I really had to focus on improving the whole graphics and changing out the whole art style because I didn't like this island, it was boring, and I also certainly didn't like the void for obvious reasons. So I decided for this forest where a village or coconut colony will be situated in, and you will have to take care of it by collecting resources and such. And on the matter of art style, I really had to step out of my comfort zone, and my comfort zone are basically outlines around everything. I really like to use them, and it looked really bad, especially when I tried to draw a tree. I realized then that I really have to wake up and try out something new because this doesn't work. So I made these two trees and I created this hut with a ladder and a platform. This is a good showcase of two platforming elements. First of all, there is a ladder that actually works, you can climb on it. I'm not sure how important part it will do in the platforming because it's kind of boring, you just go up and down. But there is also this platform that acts as a ground, but you can fall through it, so it's a fall through platform, and it's pretty cool. I like it. You can use it to get up on this ledge. It's kind of difficult now, but you can do it. And there is also this shelter. Now, you will be able to sleep in it, but as for now, I just use it to test out a new feature, because you might have noticed this coconut, Robomir, running around the forest, the colony, and just enjoying his life, minding his business. Um, Basically, I edit currently this really simple feature where you can create these colonists, and you can even name them. For example, let's call him Bob, and you can create him, and he will go in this idle stage or idle behavior where he moves around the island randomly. He can even follow you, which I will showcase later. And of course I had to make a pathfinding algorithm for this. I want to bash my head in. Anyways, I have added some relaxing activities like fishing. It doesn't work. Swimming. Swimming actually works. And furthermore, I even improve how the water looks. I have some new experience with shaders, so I was able to stylize the water a bit more to kind of fit the art style, and I'm really happy with the results. I even added some sea life once again, use some shaders on these kelp leaves and such to simulate some wave effect. The same is applied for this grass. While making the background and foreground, I once again tried out some new things. I really focused on finding a good way to make background quickly but also have some quality in it. What you are currently seeing is very bland, and of course more life and detail and world building will be added into it eventually. But for now I just wanted to get the gist of how should it look and how should it be made. For example, when you are looking at this foreground, you may can tell it was made out of only 3 assets I quickly scribbled down, and I just tried to lay out how it could look and what colors it should have, and currently it serves just to show off the 3Dness of the scene. Now, when making environment look like it actually lives, you have to focus on the small details, and I managed to figure out quite a few of them. First of all, you can see how the trees are affected by wind that I can manually set or transition between. Even the background trees are affected by it. I'm using particles to make this leaf falling effect, which I will improve somewhat in the future, but it serves its purpose. I also am using these birds, which are currently probably the only hand-drawn animation in the game, and I really like how they look. I think they are kind of memorable, like unique in their way. I'll definitely figure out a way to implement them more into the gameplay just because I think they are really cool. We can see that there is the sun and it casts light that actually casts shadows from objects, which I made the shadows very light so they are not strong and take too much attention away from what's actually important, which are these platforms. When writing a pathfinding algorithm, you should first consider how much you hate yourself. Then you take that revelation and use it as a fuel to write the code. First you make a grid. The grid contains all positions, which I will call tiles. Then a calculation happens and all tiles will be assigned value defining if it is a ground or not. That is calculated through raycasting and checking for colliders with specific layers. Once that calculation is done, you basically have all the values and data necessary for the actual algorithm. The algorithm needs two inputs to do its magic. You need a start tile, so basically the starting position, and target tile. Then the algorithm just takes the start tile and checks its neighbors on the left and on the right. And then it does it again and again until you end up with a neighbors, 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 neighbor, 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 neighbors, neighbor. And if that neighbor is the target tile, then you have reached the path. If it goes through all the tiles, it could go through, and it didn't reach the target tile, there is no path. The problem currently is it can move only on the horizontal axis, not in the vertical axis, and I can't allow the algorithm to just go up whenever it wants to. I have to define specific points in which it can consider another tile a neighbor, and that neighbor is only reachable by jumping. So to achieve this, I am using jump points. Basically, jump point has 2 points that are baked into tiles, and those tiles are linked with each other, so when the neighbor check comes in, so it not only considers the tile on the left and on the right as neighbors, but also the other end of the jump point as a neighbor too. With all of this, it can now reach the target tile even through jump points. The last issue is when reconstructing the path, I have to know when a jump point was used. This is kind of complicated, so I'm not going to go into it. That is all for this devlog. You should subscribe. There is more coming soon enough. Really soon.